Since the beginning of time, people have been coming up with new ideas. From the first time someone made a fire to the invention of a phone that you can use when you're away from home, innovations have helped make our lives easier in many ways. But even though innovation seems to be making our lives faster and faster, like a scene from the Jetsons, a few things that could have changed our world never saw the light of day. So, we are going to discuss the 10 most important changes that will probably never happen to you. But before we start our video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well. 10 Personal nuclear reactor. Atomic energy used to be a very talked about way to send large amounts of power to neighborhoods all over the world. If only a small amount of atomic power could have been used, whole networks could have had power for what seems to be an endless amount of time. When this new idea was on the verge of a good period of generation, financial experts lost interest all of a sudden, and the idea ended up getting lost in the nooks and crannies of a damp office. The building for this idea was a small shed in the middle of neighborhoods that looked like a greenhouse. This would have been the power hub for the whole zone, giving power to several squares at the same time. The best part is that it should be a free or easy way to get unlimited power, which would have saved everyone a lot of money on their high electricity bills. 9 Electric car. GM was the first company to make and sell a fully electric car in the late 1990s. Even though there are already a lot of hybrid cars, this was the first one of its kind. Even though there are more and more ways to combine gas engines with electric ones, there still doesn't seem to be a well-known vehicle that doesn't need gas by any stretch of the imagination. The GM EV1 wasn't meant to be very good, so GM only made 800 of them at first. But at the time, reports showed that GM thought customers were unhappy with battery control and decided to get rid of the whole line of cars in favor of more advanced fuel-controlled options. People think that even though GM would have sold a lot of electric-powered cars, the real reason they turned down their offer was that they were under a lot of pressure from big oil companies. 8 Sloat digital coding. This work of art hasn't really been seen since 1999. With the way technology has changed, this coding idea could have really changed how much space and storage a modern PC or mobile device could have. His name was Ronk Jan Bernhard Sloot. He was from the Netherlands. With his technology, information could be put together in a much better way. The pressure of squeezing a full-length movie down to 8 kilobytes was used to both test and market this new idea. Even with the most modern systems, a low-quality video file usually needs many times more space than a high-quality video file, and a high-quality video file could need many times more information. The exact number of megabytes needed for the unraveling process was only 370. Sloat could have shown how well his project worked by playing 16 full movies from a single 64 kilobyte chip at the same time. As buyers and investors got ready for this amazing new technology, Sloat died under suspicious circumstances just days before he was supposed to hand over the first source codes. 7 Cure for heart disease. Since heart disease kills a lot of women around the world, and a lot of men, too, learning that there was once a real solution to the problem is a bit disturbing. Like the Rife machine, which we'll talk about later, this was an idea that was put to rest because it didn't fit with the way heart disease was being treated at the time. Not too long ago, ideas for treating cardiovascular disease in people were based on specific risk factors. Based on evidence from genetics, metabolism, development, and clinical studies, we present here a method that is both harmful and helpful. The American Medical Association says that this would be bad for both the treatment itself and the doctors who were behind it. Their statement clearly questioned the fact that this brought together theory of human cardiovascular disease had been used to help people with heart disease in the past. But some heart patients who tried the treatment on and off said that it made their conditions worse. 6 Cloudbuster. There is something to be said about being able to make it rain in a certain place. Wilhelm Reich, a scientist, noticed that a dry season was making it hard to pick blueberries in his home state of Maine. He came up with an idea that has become known as the Cloudbuster. The Bangor Daily News, which was covering the first project with this machine, said that there was no way to tell if it was going to rain in the area. Reich spent a long time getting the machine ready to go. During that time, storm mists formed and made 0.64 centimeters, 0.25 inches, of rain. Reich's new ideas may have upset some people in the government, since his investigation was shut down and his work and models were taken away. The Cloudbuster machine was never tried out a second time. Still, if it were made, there might no longer be food shortages anywhere in the world. 5 Hemp biofuel. Hemp has always had a bad reputation among people who don't know its real benefits because it is often confused with marijuana. When you take ethanol out of this innovative plant, you can see how valuable it really is. As a carbon-neutral asset, the plant takes in carbon dioxide almost instantly, much faster than trees. Also, plants take in the carbon dioxide that biodiesel gives off through the process of photosynthesis. So, in addition to removing toxins from the soil, the hemp plant can also remove CO2 from the air we breathe. Luckily, a lot of states are starting to see how important it is to grow industrial hemp. Since hemp is thought to be related to cannabis, corn is the most popular source of ethanol right now. But the hemp plant can make more ethanol than corn, and it hurts the earth much less in the process. Hemp grows well on ranch lands with few resources, doesn't need much help to grow, and makes about 4 times as much oil per acre as soybeans. 4 Rife Machine. Royal Rife made a machine to remove cancerous growths in 1934. Back then, cancer was still thought of as an infection. So, Rife made a laser light that would only shine on the bad cells and kill them. Barry Lyons' book The Cancer Cure That Worked, 50 Years of Suppression says that 14 cases of terminal cancer patients who were cured by this treatment should be enough to convince you. When Rife wouldn't work with the leader of the AMA, though, the group used all of its power and resources to stop and destroy the treatment. Now, there is no proof that the AMA had a direct hand in hiding this innovation, but something did seem to stifle this, as far as anyone knows, effective way to treat cancerous growth. Overflowing accused agreement between the AMA and other restorative associations for getting rid of his logical cases. Any way you look at it, there isn't enough evidence to say that his treatment worked on its own. 3 Ogle's Vapor Fuel System. Everyone might want to get more miles per tank of gas, and some late model cars have options that work very well at getting you further on less gas. We're still not able to do much that comes close to what technician Tom Ogle is said to have done. In the 1970s, this person came up with a new kind of carburetor that had never been seen before. Back then, gas and oil companies shared the market in the same way they do now. Even though Ogle's carburetor was tested and seemed to get as much as 48 kilometers per liter, 113 miles per gallon, it was never sold commercially. The progressive part worked by putting pressure on gas to turn it into a cloud of vapor, which was then pumped into the chambers that were about to end. 2 Tesla's free energy. Nikola Tesla may have been one of the most talented designers in the world. Even though most of what he comes up with probably won't change the world, the idea of free power for everyone should make your ears perk up. Tesla found that useful energy could be separated from the heat of the surrounding air and that electric power could be sent to everyone on the planet as radiant energy through the ground. 1 Water fuel cell. Even though it might sound crazy, there are many working models of cars that can keep going on water. Stan Meyer's water-powered carriage was one of the best known and most used of these cars. This important invention went an average of 43 kilometers for every liter of water, 100 miles per gallon. The power device has been in the works since 1975, when Stanley Meyer decided to make something that could change the entire car industry and the way we power vehicles forever. Instead of using fuel, we use water to power the cars. These are the 10 forgotten inventions of the world. If you like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more top 10 informative videos. Also press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.